Hi, welcome to another episode of Creating Cultures that Outperform. I'm Frank Wander. I'm the CEO and founder of People Productive, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host Terry Mays. Terry, want to quickly introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Terry Mays, a certified culture engineer with emphasis on helping companies bring out the best in their people.
And People Productive as a company, we help our clients use the time, talent, energy of their people most effectively so that they can create cultures that truly outperform, hang on to their people, and create environments that people remember working in. We've been on a wellness series. I hope you've been joining us every week. We've been covering all the different factors that really drive human performance in creating cultures that outperform. In our last few episodes, we've been focused on wellness. Last week, we were looking at rest and sleep and how they impact human performance. This week, we're taking a look at environmental stress. There's many, many environmental stressors in a workplace. We're going to talk about these in some detail. These are things that really should be managed. Clearly, when you have employees in a work environment where they feel really good and really comfortable, whether that's in the office or whether they're working remote or hybrid, they're going to be more engaged and more productive. You've got to remove all these environmental stressors that get in the way of people giving their best. And we'll focus on that today.
Yes, absolutely. There are lots of things that impact you that you don't really think about on a regular basis. So, some of those things that include like the temperature or little things that seem like they wouldn't make that much of a difference, but your creativity is stifled when you're not in a comfortable workspace. If the temperature is too hot or too cold, those are just examples of how your performance can be impacted because you're shivering or you're blazing hot and you can't focus on anything else except that you're uncomfortable. Remember, the mind cannot multitask. So if you get distracted with something in the environment, it distracts you away from work.
Yeah, your nervous systems are trying to create an optimal state for you. So, although they're really dealing with the environment and they're reacting to stimuli, the parasympathetic nervous system is trying to get you back in balance. And so any of these things cause your body to interrupt you, right? If it's too hot or too cold, you're going to go, oh God, temperature's not right. If there's a lot of noise around you, it's going to affect your ability to recall things. And noise, it can be too loud or it can actually be too quiet. Environments that are too quiet are not effective because then the pin drop, you hear it and you immediately wonder what that was. Environments that are too noisy, absolutely. It's hard to concentrate. You want that optimal level of noise, which you've mentioned in prior episodes I've read was, I think, 72 decibels. But it's very interesting. These are different forms of environmental stress that you should think about. People should think about it when they're working from home. All of these things really, really matter.
They really do because, like I said before, when you get distracted, now you're focused on that thing and not on work. Your creativity is not as high because you're trying to do something else and you're trying to do more than one thing at once. Some of the other things that can impact you in the environment really have to do with your ability to take breaks. So, people that are allowed to take breaks during the day really do have much higher performance than those that try to just press through and work through lunch, work through the afternoon and not take any breaks. Your body needs that time to recuperate. And we talked about this last week and how your brain is really a computer. It's a supercomputer and it needs that time to refresh and recharge. And taking breaks throughout the day, even if it's just standing and stretching, all of those things really help your body offset the stress that you're under in the workplace every day. So don't skip lunch trying to work through, sometimes it's necessary, but don't make that a regular habit of skipping lunch and working through lunch, working through all of your breaks. Take those breaks, take time to walk around, stretch your legs, get some coffee or tea or whatever you'd like to have in the afternoon, but do something to recharge because that actually just puts your brain and your body as a whole in a much better state, in a much healthier state, a much greater state of wellness.
Yeah. And, stress builds. There's so many different environmental stressors. We'll talk about a few more. Lighting. You can be in an area where light's improper. You could be straining. You can get eye strain. That's a real big one, actually. When you have furniture and conditions for working in that aren't ergonomically really effective for you. You could develop all kinds of stress and strain. Years ago, I ended up with a neck problem because I was always bent over working on my computer and managed to take care of it. Hasn't been back. I was given all the right exercise. I do those all the time, but that was really annoying. My
Yeah.
neck was bothering me, and then I would get some tingling in my fingertips, and finally got the physical therapy and worked out, what it was, and it had to do with just working on a computer all the time. That causes eye strain as well. And stress is cumulative, and you have too much, you get stressed out. So when you add all of these different environmental things into the just stress of work itself, that is environmental stress. Workloads, all those interruptions, deadlines that are pressing into you, too much to do. People become stressed out. And there are an awful lot of people who have days off because they're not well. I forget the number of doctor visits related to stress, but it's a very high number. And these things are toxic to your health. There's no question.
Yes. And once you get in that stressful state, you really do start to decline in your health. I've noticed in my physical body, I can tell when I'm getting too stressed in my neck or my back. I can start to feel it with more headaches. If you start seeing yourself get more headaches, that's another sign that you're probably too stressed. And sometimes that stress at work can just filter over into your personal life and vice versa. If you're under a lot of stress at home, that stress can translate into behaviors in the workplace. So learn how to recognize your own stress level. Everybody has their own level that's too much for them. Every person is different, but learn to recognize what's too much stress for you so that you can manage it effectively and not have situations that happen at home or at work that you wish that you had done things differently, but it's all because you were stressed out. You didn't get a chance to rest enough the previous night, or you are working in an environment where another one of those stressors can be air quality. So if you're working in
That's
a
for sure.
place where there's, different chemicals that are being used, or just in a hospital, or where there's constantly different people coming in and out, and the air quality may not be as great as you would like it to be. So all those things really impact how you're able to do your job, because if you're having difficulty breathing because you've breathed in something that's toxic, or you're just struggling with the aroma that's in the room. We talk about just any little thing, any of these aromas or fragrances. Somebody is wearing too much cologne, or somebody has on too much perfume. All of those things impact your workday, and they cause you to stop and focus on something else. It really does change your flow of work. It hinders your creativity. All of
Mhm.
those are just signals that you really do need to take care of those different things, because they're impacting your work performance.
Mhm.
Sometimes in a small way, sometimes in a big way, because you end up having to take more sick
Mhm.
days because you're so stressed out, or you're so bothered by something that happened at work. All of those things really do impact you. So pay
Yeah.
attention and learn your personal stressors.
Yeah. Be aware, be aware of your feelings. Your body tells you everything. You've got to be aware of it. Open your mind, start to realize that this stuff is real, and your body's going to tell you when something isn't right, and you can react to it. We have a question here. What types of music should people listen to that will make them productive? You want to listen to music that's got, where you can get a kind of a constant beat. You don't want a lot of singing and words that are going to be distractive. There are tons of playlists on YouTube that create the great background music for writing, for thinking and studying, and the music kind of fades into the background and helps you get into a state of flow. So that is a very good question. You should pick stuff that works for you. Try different ones out. Go on YouTube. You could do music for concentration, music for writing, music for thinking, problem solving. Try them all out. A lot of lists there. I've tried all different ones. You generally end up with sometimes a classical piece, but there are a lot of choices, and some of them have a built-in binaural beat, which helps you get into a state of meditation. If you really want to relax and close your eyes, you can pick those out. That's been scientifically studied over the years. I do use those sometimes, and it's great to relax. You could put on, your earbuds and play the music and, relax for 10 minutes and pick a good piece of music that's going to help you really relax, drown out some stress. I like earbuds and things because they do help kind of drown out that background noise. And you can set the decibel level to what works for you. It can be very effective.
Yeah. Yeah, even just like ocean sounds, you've got all those sound machines that people use to sleep with at night, where
Hmm.
it's the sound of the ocean or the wind
Those are
chimes.
great. Yeah.
They're great to actually put you in that state of rest so that you can really sleep peacefully through the night. And then during the day, you really do want those sounds that can keep you in a calm state of mind so that you're not so stressed out. Remember, most of us are sitting in front of a computer or we're working on equipment. We're using our brains a lot. Our hands are doing a lot of things, our brains are doing a lot of things. So you really got to offset that. You really do have to get yourself in a state where you're not so stressed all the time. And the way you do that is by stopping, taking those breaks, listening to music while you're working to keep you in a calm state of mind. All of those different things are just a few of the many ways that you can use music and other tools to help you offset the stress. But make sure you're having fun. We've talked about that
Mhm.
before. Fun is really a countermeasure to stress. So laugh, find some jokes that are
Good
appropriate.
time.
Work,
Why not?
you
Life's
know,
too short.
enjoy the workplace. You have to be there 8 hours a day at least at a minimum. So you might as well enjoy the time you're spending with people and get to know them. Spend time getting to know people so that you can make those personal connections with people.
We have another question here. Boy, it's music day. Some sales teams listen to techno music. Does that really help to boost energy or would be a distraction? This is an individual thing. We know for a fact that language is it's the language of emotion. And Hollywood has mastered it. Different scores they'll use for different
Mhm.
movies. If you want to really have a scary sound, they've got that. Some sounds do boost your energy and draw people in. So clearly, I couldn't speak to techno music personally in terms of whether it's good for getting sales teams moving. But music does raise energy levels if you pick the right pieces. There's no question about it. They raise and elevate heart rate. Sometimes they'll lessen heart rate. So you've got to pick a piece that works for you, given the situation you have. And there is a lot of personal preference with music.
Yes. Those techno beats will get your heart pumping and get your
Oh yeah,
blood flowing to get you prepared to do activity. So if you need to do something where you're more calm and focused, that's probably not the right music for that.
yeah, yeah.
But it'll get you all pumped and jazzed up so you can make some of those sales calls.
Oh yeah. I mean, people use some of that stuff for workouts, right? To get them going, get
Yes.
themselves
Yeah.
going, try to get into the beat. They're all good, but we love questions. Keep them coming.
Yes,
Okay, right?
absolutely. And if you ever needed to reach out to us in between shows, feel free to email us at coach@peopleproductive.com. We would love to hear from you, hear any suggestions for
Yeah.
shows, any feedback that you have for us. We'd love to hear it. If you need engagement to help you figure out something with culture in your workplace, we'd be happy to help you.
And keep in mind the environment can be stressful. You've got to manage it. You got to be conscious and aware of it. Tara, I think we should maybe go to the wrap up here, right?
Yeah, I think so. Can you bring us the key takeaways, Marcelo? Awesome. So the overall thing with this whole show is just about taking those steps to reduce the environmental stressors in your workplace so that you can improve your performance. The whole purpose of these shows is to help you figure out how to improve your performance, creating those cultures that outperform. This is just one of those ways, one of those things to focus on. So we talked about these environmental stressors. I won't go through those again, but take some time to go through this and really think about it from your perspective and how these items may be impacting you at work. So make sure you're opening those lines of communication as a leader so that employees can share what's stressing them out about the and holding them back, what's keeping them from being their best in the workplace. You want that open communication so that people can share, so you can do something about it. You want to encourage people to take some breaks throughout the day. Don't just sit and work through lunch. It's, sometimes that's necessary, but make sure you're not making that your norm. Take the breaks, go walk around, go and talk to people, just relax a little bit for at least an hour in the day. You want to do that. If you break it up into smaller segments, however you do it, but make sure you take those breaks throughout the day so that your brain can recharge. And then for those hybrid and remote workers, a lot of us are in this space now. We never thought we would be in this space. But you want to make sure that you have a workplace that supports what you need to do, to think, to solve problems. So make sure that your workspace at home is just as efficient and helpful to you as your workplace as your space in the workplace. I got the blah blahs. You want to make sure that you're comfortable in your workplace at home and you're comfortable in your workspace at work, because those things really matter. Your chair, your mouse, your monitors, all of those things, you want to make sure that you've got a comfortable work environment, that it's not too cold and it's not too hot, that you're not spending all of your time focused on other things. It's not too dark. You've got enough light in the area. All of those things will keep you distracted for much longer than you would like to be. And then making sure you have the right tools. You want to make sure that people aren't struggling with tools in their environment, that they have what they need in a clean and safe environment. It's so important. And then understand the impact of environmental stress. As a leader, you really do need to pay attention to this, because you end up with people that are like this minion on the left that's used up all of his sick days. So he's calling in dead because he's so stressed out. He's been taking
That
sick
was a
days.
great find, Tara. I love that one.
Yes, years ago, someone gave me a magnet with that phrase on it, and I still have it to this day. I really have kept and taken that to heart. That you do want to take time to rest and recharge, refresh yourself. Don't get so stressed out that you're taking so many sick days that now you feel like you're just dead. So your move is to evaluate your work environment, that whether it's hybrid or remote or whatever your case might be, evaluate that environment and look for stressors that you can eliminate. Look for things that you can do to make your work environment better.
Yeah, and it could be as simple as moving your desk so you get more natural light. They've done studies, natural light affects performance. People improve better when there's natural versus artificial light. So you could take this a long, long way. There are an awful lot of things you could do. Stress matters. People think stress, oh, too much work to do. No, there are a lot of environmental stressors. Be aware of it, manage them, take responsibility for yourself as much as possible. Leaders need to be aware this is a tool. And don't forget to join us next week, 3 o'clock, when we're going to be looking at the impact of diet and fitness on human performance and wellness overall. These things really matter. Hey, look, what great advice. I actually just moved my desk. Dan, fantastic. Um, we love it. We want people to take this advice. Companies that master these human factors are going to be leading companies in the 21st century. They're going to outperform and outproduce other companies. They're going to have environments where the human infrastructure is tuned for performance, constantly being improved. These are the winning companies of the 21st century. The people and company will thrive together. That's what it's all about. Please join us each week to learn more about the human factors that help you create cultures that outperform.
Yes. Bye for now.
Bye for now. See you next.